Noong unang panahon, sa ilalim ng mataas na bundok pilosopiya, naninirahan ng dalawang matalik na magkaibigan, si Karun at si Runo. Pareho silang kilala sa kanilang bayan dahil sa kanilang katalinuhan, ngunit magkaiba ang kanilang pananaw tungkol sa tunay na pinagmula ng kaalaman. Si Karun ay isang taong mahilig magnilay. Kahit hindi siya lumalabas ng kanyang bahay, kaya niyang ipaliwanag ang galaw ng araw, buwan at mga bituin, gamit lamang ang pangangatwiran. Para sa kanya, ang tunay na karunungan ay nagmumula sa isip at lohika. Sa kabilang banda, si Runo ay isang manlalakbay. Malayo na ang kanyang narating at sa bawat hakbang ay isinusulat niya ang tungkol sa kanyang nakita, naamoy, nalasahan at naramdaman. Naniniwala siya na ang kaalaman ay nagmumula sa aktwal na karanasan ng kanyang mga pandama. Isang araw, dumating ang hari ng kanilang kaharian at nagbigay ng isang hamon.
Sa gitna ng kagubatan ay may isang mahiwagang prutas na tinatawag na puso ng karunungan. Kung sino man ang makapagliliwanag nito ay siyang kikilalanin pantas ng kaharian.
Agad na nag-usap ang dalawang magkaibigan.
Hindi na natin kailangan pumunta roon.
Sabi ni Karun.
Kung ito'y tinatawag na puso ng karunungan, tiyak na hugis puso ito at nagbibigay ng talino sa sino mang kakain ito. Luhikal na iyon.
Umiling si Runo.
Hindi sapat ang hula. Pupunta ako sa gubat, hahawakan ko, aamuyin, titikman at saka ko lamang masasabi kung ano ang totoo.
Kaya't naglakbay si Runo patungo sa makapal na gubat. Matapos ang ilang oras, natagpuan niya ang prutas na tinutukoy. Hindi ito hugis puso gaya ng iniisip ni Karun, kundi maliit, bilog at kulay asul. Nang kanyang matikman, biglang dumaloy ang kaliwanagan sa kanyang isip at damdamin. Parang naunawaan niya ang mga bagay na dati malabo. Pagbalik niya sa bayan, ikunwento niya ang kanyang naranasan kay Karun at hindi rin siya nagpaawat. Gamit ang kanyang lohika, ipinaliwanag niya.
Kung kulay asul ang prutas, ito'y sagisag ng kalangitan. At kung bilog, ito'y tanda ng kawalang hanggan. Kaya't nararapat lamang na ito'y nagbibigay ng karunungan. Dahil ang tunay na talino ay walang hanggan at kasing lawak ng kalangitan.
Nang marinig ng hari ang dalawang paliwanag, ngumiti siya at nagsabi,
Si Runo ang nagbigay ng katotohanang nadarama at nakikita, at si Karun ang nagbigay ng kahulugan at paliwanag. Kapag pinagsama ang dalawa, doon nagiging ganap ang tunay na kaalaman.
Mula noon, itinuro sa lahat ng taga-bundok na ang tunay na talino ay hindi lamang nakikita o iniisip, kundi bunga ng pagsasanib ng karanasan at rason. At simula noon, mula sa pangalang Karun at Runo, binigyang ngalan ng karunungan na sumasagisag sa tunay na kaalaman.
A pleasant day. I am Bemay Saxi Castillo. Together with Tyron Geronimo, we will be tackling Andresito Acuña's philosophical analysis, Module 2, entitled Rationalism and Empiricism. Okay, so what are we going to discuss? We will define epistemology, rationalism, and empiricism. We will also discuss the three central issues of epistemology and the dogma. Okay, but before we dive deep, I'll start with the questions. Are you a rational person or an empirical person? Do you understand things because you can think or just because you can see and feel? But first, let us determine which is which. Join us as we compare and contrast both traditions as stated by Acuña. First, we must understand what epistemology means. So, epistemology came from two Greek words, episteme, which means knowledge, and logia, which means study or argument. Epistemology refers to the study of knowledge, what it is, how we acquire it, how do we actually know if we know something. So, it is also known as the theory of knowledge. With that being said, let me show you the three central issues in the theory of knowledge. It would be essential for us to compare and contrast both traditions using these questions. So, the three central issues in epistemology. What are the source or sources of knowledge? Well, where does it come from? Does it start from the mind or from what we perceive? Sa madaling sabi, galing ba ito sa logic natin or sa experience or sa senses? So, number two, given the source, what can be known? What kind of knowledge can we really attain? Formal truth ba, from math or science, or from the physical world? The third one is, how do we validate our knowledge claims? Same as the others, titingin ba tayo based from what we know or what we actually see? For instance, a triangle has three sides. Coherently, this is true. And another example would be, it is raining outside. You have to step out and bathe in the rain to validate it. That's the correspondence theory of truth. All theories of knowledge come from of knowledge from the past to the present time must provide an answer to these issues. Consequently, any comparative analysis of theories of knowledge must begin from these questions as well. This is the bottom line. It is important to note that all theories of knowledge must have an answer to all three central issues in epistemology. As mentioned earlier, these questions will be your guide in differentiating the two traditions. So, moving on. Okay. Rationalism. Before we discuss rationalism, let us first introduce the notable philosophers who represented rationalism. First, we have Rene Descartes. Rene Descartes. I think, therefore I am. Descartes believed that the reason is the foundation of all knowledge, not senses. For him, mathematics was the model of certainty. In the second picture, we have Baruch Spinoza. For Spinoza, the wisdom that philosophy seeks is ultimately achieved when one perceives the universe in its wholeness through the intellectual love of God. Sa madaling salita, ang sabi ni Spinoza ay kapag naunawaan natin ang universe bilang isang buo, maintindihan natin na pagmamahal sa Diyos ay hindi magkaiba sa paggamit ng ating isip. Pero ito daw ay bunga ng pag-unawa sa buong truth. Then we have Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. He accepts innate ideas and hindi siya naniniwala kay John Locke na the mind is at birth a tabula rasa or blank state. Sabi niya na ang rationality itself follows from the capacity for reflections. We begin with a conception of the self. We move from this point to thinking of being, of substance of God. Para kay Leibniz daw, ang tao ay may innate ideas at kakayahan na mag-reflect na nag-o-open sa katotohanan tungkol sa sarili, sa pagiging being, sa substance kung ano daw bumubuo sa lahat at sa Diyos. Then, ayan na, rationalism. What is rationalism? What is the source of knowledge for rationalism? It refers to the belief that reason and logic are the main and only sources of knowledge. The rationalists contend that the reason is the only source of knowledge. Reason lang daw. Rationalists accept only one theory of truth, the coherence theory of truth. The five senses are not genuine sources of knowledge. They argue that it is unreliable and oftentimes even contradictory. So, ang mga rationalists daw, reason lang ang pinaka-source of knowledge. And they believe na there is only one theory of truth, yung coherence theory of truth nga. Kasi for them, the five senses are not genuine. Kasi, eka nga nila, paano magiging reliable to? Parang niloloko lang naman tayo nito minsan. Katulad nito magiging example natin. Perceptual illusions. Yung first pick, it is called a mirage or shimmering road. The phenomenon where a road appears wet or shiny in the distance on a hot day. Lahat naman siguro nakikita to. And then the second pick, a pen in water. The pen appears to be bent or broken due to the refraction of light. And then a tower appears shorter from a distance and would appear large pagka malapit tayo dito sa third pick. Siyempre, pag malayo, di naman natin makikita ng ano, ng malinaw. And then, syempre, pag napakalapit na natin, Eiffel Tower yan eh. Malaki talaga yan. And then, rationalism. Given the knowledge, what can be known? Through reason, we can understand universal and unnecessary truths that go beyond certain experiences. Ibig sabihin na hindi limited sa senses ang pwede natin alamin. Halimbawa, naibibigay ng senses natin na kunwari, ang bracelet na ito ay puti. Pero sa reason, it reveals abstract truths. Ano ba ang abstract truths? Daw yung truth na exists as an idea or concept. Hindi basta tangible na bagay. Okay. The rationalists conclude that the five senses cannot give rise to genuine knowledge because the knowledge derived from experience is unstable, unreliable, and worse, even contradictory. The knowledge derived from reason gave rise to the formal sciences, to yung algebra, geometry, mathematics, and logic. According to the coherence theory of truth, the sciences provide certain or absolute knowledge. Certain. From the time of Plato to the contemporary period, the rationalists have considered these formal sciences to be the model of their theory of knowledge. So, ang tanong, nag-agree ba kayo na sa mga rationalist na ito daw ay unreliable? Yung senses natin unreliable, tas sa formal sciences lang daw dapat tayo magbase, na inuutulan talaga tayo ng nakikita natin, katulad nga na naging example ko kanina.
So now we dive into empiricism. No, first let us define what empiricism is. No, so it is a philosophical theory that asserts knowledge, which originates from sensory experience and experimentation, rather than innate ideas. No, so empiricists emphasize that observation and evidence gathered through the five senses, katulad ng ating mga paningin, pandinig, sense of touch, yung ating panlasa at pangamoy, are the primary, if not exclusive sources of information about the world. So, na-define na natin at nabigyang kahulugan ng empiricism that the knowledge that we gain are from our senses and through different experimentations. So, to concretize our discussion regarding empiricism, here are some notable philosophers that support this thinking. So, this includes, first ay si John Locke. Sinabi niya na ang human mind is tabula rasa, meaning we are in a blank state nung tayo ay pinanganak. There is no innate knowledge among us. And this blank state ay napupunan ng ating mga sensory experiences. Pangalawa ay si George Berkeley. Sinabi niya na to be is to be perceived, meaning all that exists are minds and ideas. There is no such thing as matter independent of perception, and we can conceive anything that we haven't experienced. No? At pangatlo ay si David Hume na matatalakay natin as we move further on this presentation. So first, what is the source or sources of knowledge in empiricism? No. So it is important to note that these empiricist philosophers do not forbid reason to be utilized as a true source of knowledge. No. However, they believe that if we wanted to know this physical world we live in, no, we have to use our five senses. Kahit na man ito ay unreliable, no. Mahalaga rin na malaman natin na ang ating senses is the only faculty that can interact with the physical world. So, pangalawa ay given the source, what can be known? So, nasabi nga natin na ang main source of knowledge ng empiricism ay sensory experiences. So, for example, it is revealed sa mga images that we see, kung anong kulay ito, kung red ba yan or yellow, or kung gaano katingkad ang mga ito, kung bright ba siya or dull. Sa mga bagay na nahahawakan natin tulad ng bato, kung rough ba ito or smooth. sa mga amoy na pwede nating maamoy, kung mabango ba yung isang bagay o mabaho. Sa mga flavors na natitikman natin, like in different food, no, kung maalat ba ito o matamis o savory. At sa iba't ibang mga sounds na pwede nating marinig kung malakas ba yon or mahina. So these are considered as valid sources because we can personally experience them. So moving on. So according naman sa isa sa ating mga empiricist philosopher na si David Hume, no, all perceptions of the human mind resolve themselves into two kinds, which I shall call impressions and ideas. No, so impressions are the immediate experiences we have through our senses. No, for example, the taste of adobo while eating. Also, this includes our emotions or passions like joy, fear, anger, love, hatred, and among others. So, when we experience an emotion, we feel it intensely, and it is a direct impression. These are the emotional responses to things that happens to us, like nagagalit tayo kung may nakakagawa sa atin ng mali, or kaya naman ay nagiging masaya tayo kung may magandang nangyayari sa atin. So on the other hand, ideas naman are the weaker copies of mental representations of impressions. So once we experience something, whether through sensory input or emotional reaction, our mind reflects on it and forms ideas. So these ideas are more abstract and less intense than the original impressions from which they come. No? For example, nagkakaroon tayo ng idea of a sunset after seeing one. So it's less intense than the original impression of the sunset, but it is still shaped by the vivid experience that we have. So next. So moving on, Hume's philosophy goes beyond just sensory impressions, but he also includes passions and emotions as genuine types of impressions that influence human behavior and thought. So these emotional experiences, which Hume calls passions, are as real and important to our mental life as sensory impressions. No? Para sa kanya, these emotional experience were the secondary or less these are not just secondary or less significant than sensory experiences. No, they were equally foundational to human life and knowledge. So dahil sa pahayag nito ni Hume, nagkaroon ng hindi pagkakaunawaan ang ideya ni Hume at ng mga logical positivists, which gave way to the concept of logical positivism. So, pakita natin. So the positivists only accepted and emphasized only two objects of human reason, namely relations of ideas and matters of fact, and conveniently forgot that passions and emotions are genuine sources of ideas. Now, so the logical positivists did not accept emotions and passions as meaningful in the same way that they would accept empirically verifiable statements or analytic truths, because emotions and passions do not meet their strict criterion of empirical verifiability. So emotions and passions are subjective. So it is not clear as they do not need external reference to be empirically tested and verified by other people. No? So mahirap na malaman kung mahirap i-observe kasi subjective nga ang emotion at ang passion. Mahirap siya i-verify. No? So ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba ng relations of ideas and matters of fact? So, So, as sa relations of ideas, they are the truths that are known by reason alone and self-evident. They are the foundation of analytic knowledge and represent certain non-empirical truths about the concepts and terms we are used in reasoning. For example, a triangle has three sides is true by definition. If you understand the concept of a triangle, then you know it must have three sides. So on the other hand, they are essentially contingent truths, meaning the statements or the proposition that describe the world as it is and can be empirically verified or observed. For example, the sun rises at the east. So we know for a fact that the sun rises at the east because we can scientifically prove and observe it. So nakikita naman natin na kung saan sumisikat ang araw. So moving on, so nalaman natin na the empiricist disagrees with the rationalist that the faculty of reason can guarantee empirical knowledge and that this knowledge does not require verification by the faculty of the five senses. Yung reason daw ay magagamit lamang natin sa mga formal knowledge tulad ng mathematics at logic na nasabi ni Bem kanina. So, walang empirical content ang mga ito. So sa dogma, masasabi natin na somehow, nag-meet halfway ang empiricism at rationalism. So, ayon sa kanila, nag-agree sina Hume at Leibniz sa two types of knowledge claims. Magkaiba lang yung tawag nila dito. So, for Hume, he called it relations of ideas at matters of fact na na-discuss natin kanina. And sa rationalism side ay tinawag ni Leibniz ito na truth of reason and truth of fact. So, next. So, ang sabi nila, and if there are two knowledge claims coming from true sources, which are reason and experience, then it follows that there should be two theories of truth para ma-validate yung knowledge claims. Ito yung coherence theory of truth at correspondence theory of truth. So, while their epistemological foundations differ, yung pagkakaiba ng empiricism at ng rationalism, they agreed on the distinction between necessary logical truths and contingent empirical truths. A distinction that became central to later philosophy, especially kay Immanuel Kant sa kanyang Critique of Pure Reason.
So, balikan natin yung tanong ko sa pinakaunang part ng presentation. Are you a rational person or an empirical person? Do you understand things because you can think or just because you can see and feel? So, we end this part of our presentation. We've seen that rationalism and empiricism aren't just two dusty theories in philosophy books. They are two powerful lenses that shape how we understand the world, whether we put our trust in pure reason or in what our senses reveal. But if we only live on one side, we end up with half the picture. Kant showed us, and life itself proves, na mas matibay kapag pinagsama ang dalawa. We think pero we also test what we think. And as students, the challenge is clear. Don't settle for easy answers. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep balancing reason and experience. Because in that balance, we get closer to truth. That's all. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig.